What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to more C4. And this has been like one of the greatest sport days of my life. You know, I'm a diehard soccer fan. I've been playing soccer, since that was my sport as a kid growing up. Invested so much of my time in life into soccer and played at a very high level for a decent amount of time. And now in my later years, it's more, the appreciation for the game has never been stronger, and being able to watch that World Cup final between Argentina and France, pulling for Argentina. I think Messi's the GOAT. Seeing him get his shining moment, get the last thing he's yet to do, the World Cup, was awesome. And that was one of the best. I think it's almost fair to say, obviously recency bias, but that might be the best soccer game I've ever watched in my life. That's the Boise State, Oklahoma Fiesta Bowl of soccer games. And it was the World Cup on the... That was unreal. Absolutely unreal. Roll that into the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Chicago Bears 25-20, which we're going to react and throw some grades around. And then Dallas loses to the Jags in overtime with Dak Prescott throwing a pick six. If C4 can find a way to get some sugar tonight, this is going to be like one of the greatest days ever. The only way it would have been perfect, I guess, is like the Saints lost. Like that would have helped their draft pick out a little bit. But beggars can't be choosers. It's all about the dub as the Eagles move to 13-1. And we set up a massive game against Dallas on Christmas Eve. And, it's going to be a big one, man. Yeah, luckily I'm a parent. If I wasn't a parent, if I was still just, some guy living in my parents' basement and they lost, it'd probably ruin Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always going to ruin Christmas. I got kids. That's awesome. Just watching them. Like, it's different. Christmas is different now. If I didn't have kids, though, that Dallas Eagles game would have way, way, way too much weight. It'll probably be a bummer if Philly can't win that matchup. But, that's going to be an insane game. But not looking past what we accomplished here today. 25-20, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't particularly pretty. Obviously, you look at the stat line here for Jalen Hurts. All said and done, over 350 total yards, 3 total touchdowns to 2 interceptions. The 2 interceptions were bad. As a thrower, we saw arguably Jalen Hurts' worst throws of the season here. And I guess, in a December game against a 3-win Bears, I'd rather Jalen Hurts get the ugly throws, the bad decisions out of the way now than when the games, might mean a little bit more. The weather conditions did not play well in either hand. It's just, the stat line is surprising because, the Bears... Justin Fields had just over 100 yards before he had that 35-yard touchdown to Byron Pringle here. So it's it was tough throwing the football, but feel like we almost threw it 40 times. It was a weird game plan, man. It was a really, really weird game plan. Now, I guess I missed a Miles Sanders fumble. I was out putting Christmas decorations out, so I didn't see that. But I was surprised with the game plan. I thought we should have ran the ball a little bit more than what we did, but... At the end of the day, man, they found a way to get a victory. Jalen Hurts, when he needed to, he made some great plays in this game. A.J. Brown, huge. Devontae Smith, huge. Maybe a little too much Quez here today. I like Quez. I think there's certain games we need a little more Quez. Wasn't really going his way. Trying to get a lot of gadgets, trying to get out in space. The Bears' defense was terrific in pursuit here for the most part. They were terrific in pursuit until they weren't, and they had a couple bad brain farts on the defensive side of the ball. And I come away from this game... I've said this before. I feel like it was a couple years ago. I was like, man, the Bears are on their way. And it didn't really work out there, the Trubisky era, all that stuff. But, Justin Fields is amazing. From a neutral, the Bears are a team that I've never had. I dislike them. I've never really had, one way or another. Maybe even trends towards, I respect their history. So, therefore, they've been down bad a little bit. Kind of if it's a neutral game, I can pull for the Bears a little bit. Justin Fields is electric. He's an absolute superstar. He knew he was going to be a hell of a prospect coming out of Ohio State, but it was how soon will that translate to the NFL? And I made a tweet. Justin Fields is for anyone that played high school football, he's like that. If you play on a bad high school football team, usually you just put your best player, your best athlete at quarterback, and you just go out there and win the game for us. Go out there and scramble, make ridiculous throws to bad teammates, and just find a way to carry this team. They end up having 90% of the offense. And sometimes they win it, sometimes they don't. That is what Justin Fields is doing, but at the NFL level, which is ridiculous. If you get Justin Fields, if you give him, you upgrade that offensive line, you get him a wide receiver 1. I think that they got some pieces on the defensive side. Jalen Johnson was a dog today. Him and A.J. Brown Might not look like it because A.J. Brown had 9 catches for a $181. But Jalen Johnson got his, man. It was one of those, A.J. Brown's, that's a tough matchup. And obviously you'd give if this was a fight, A.J. Brown would have maybe scored a late round knockout. But it was very close. Jalen Johnson made some great plays. They got some good pieces on the defense. I think the Bears are a team on the come up if they can, finish out that offensive line so that Justin Fields doesn't take the amount of punishment that he does and can play a little bit more in the pocket. And get him a wide receiver 1. I think they're going to be pretty damn good. Because you got David Montgomery's a legit back. They got the other guy that picked up an injury. I don't know why I'm brain farting on his name. He was pretty good too. So they got 2 decent running backs. You got a weapon with Fields. There's parts of that Bears team that are kind of built like the Philadelphia Eagles in a way. So I'll pull for the Bears. That'll be like how I just graded. I think the Bears are a better team, more talented than 3-11. You have something special under center and quarterback. Don't waste it. You gotta hit this next couple off seasons, year or two. So I'm pulling for you for that, guys. So let's talk about the Eagles. So let's throw some grades out here. 22 of 37, 315, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions for Jalen Hurts. But he did chip in 61 yards rushing, 3 rushing touchdowns. B, it's like a low B for Jalen Hurts. The first interception that he threw, I thought it was a free play. I thought someone jumped offside. I was like, that's the only reason he threw it in triple coverage on A.J. Brown. Now, there is a little bit of bad habits forming with Jalen Hurts as it relates to A.J. Brown because there's just some very lazy throws that, you just go somewhere else, tuck it and run, dump it off to the running back. But because A.J. Brown has made ridiculous catches where he shouldn't be, where almost like any other wide receiver would it be an interception or be incompletion, A.J. Brown has literally made interception-saving catches countless times this year. So it's there's a level of trust and risk that I feel needs to get reined back a little bit. I feel like against tough teams, that's not always going to continue to work, man. So that's my little bit of a worry there. But when all is said and done, man, we were able to win. Jalen Hurts did the damn thing, was able to get the football to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, his playmakers. We're getting Dallas Goedert back next week, which will continue to help the passing offense. So yeah, I'll give Jalen Hurts a B. And a lot of that does come for what he did as a runner. Miles Sanders, 42 yards, did have a fumble. Run game wasn't going. It wasn't the game plan. I don't know why it wasn't the game plan. That's just weird. It was super windy. The weather was bad. You had the Chicago Bears punt it on the Philadelphia Eagles 31. I think that's where they were. Maybe they took a penalty. It was on 36 or something like that. But it just the wind. It was super windy, super cold, and it felt like the Bears played to the weather, and Philly didn't really. Philly just continued to aerate it out, if you will, a little bit, trying to honor Mike Leach. I don't know what was going on, but definitely one of the worst days running the football for the Philadelphia Eagles. And some credit goes to the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears' run defense was good. There was one really bad break on a Jalen Hurts draw where Jalen Hurts, I don't even know what it was. Must have been. It probably would have been that 22-yard long here for the touchdown. Other than that, man, they were doing a good job against the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. Receivers. So I'll give Miles Sanders in the run game. They'll get a C-. For the receivers, A.J. Brown, 9 catches, 181 yards. 5 catches, 160. Devontae might have a chance to get 1,000. We might have 2,000-yard receivers on this squad this year, which would be awesome to see. That's Madden-type stats. It wasn't a lot of drops. There was a couple that I almost felt like it was just weather. I don't want to say weather affected, but it was super windy and the ball looked a little bit weird on a couple plays you might want to have back here or there, but you're not going to dog your team when you're wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Have those types of days, so they're going to get an A from me. The defense for the Philadelphia Eagles was very, very good. You throw out the brain fart that they had a little bit on the great Justin Fields scramble. That was a touchdown, but it wasn't because he stepped out, which was horrific tackling from the Philadelphia Eagles. And then you also understand just how damn good Justin Fields is. That, it doesn't even matter how good of a tackler you are, how good of a tackling defense you are. He will make you look stupid a couple times a game. He did get a couple of those, but generally speaking, Hassan Reddick's getting the game ball for me. Literally, even with A.J. Brown doing that, Hassan Reddick, he made plays when we had to. We got 2 sacks, 3 TFLs from Josh Sweat, outstanding. You got 2 sacks, a TFL from Hassan Reddick. Also had a pass deflection. Also had a fumble recovery. I think he also had a forced fumble. I believe. What's up there? Yeah, forced fumble. You got 2 sacks, 2 TFLs, Javon Hargrave. It's just, 6 sole sacks. The pressure was immense. And it just felt like when we needed to play. Maybe if the offense had a 3-and-out or sloppy play or a turnover, it was like Hassan Riddick did something on the defense to spark the offense. It was a great complementary football from the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's not always been the case. I mean, there's a lot of teams. That is what all teams strive, is to have complementary football. Have your offense play good and your defense play good on the same game overall when all is said and done. But it's when one of your units starts to slide a little bit, one of your units starts to struggle a little bit. If the offense has a 3-and-out, that is your time for the defense to get a takeaway, to get a quick 3-and-out. Or if your defense can't stop anything, that is your time for your offense to go out there, chew some clock, get a touchdown. And it felt like we played great complementary football, and we got out of a close victory against a Chicago Bears team that is better than a record. Pile on the fact that Dallas lost to Jacksonville. It's an awesome game, man. Defense getting an A. Game ball goes to Hassan Riddick. I mean, if you give one on offense, one on defense, game ball, Hassan Riddick and A.J. Brown. And it's on to Dallas, man. That's gonna be a big one, especially on Christmas Eve. That's going to be, like, I don't know. I can't promise that there will be a grades reaction. I mean, there almost has to be, because that game's going to be massive. But, you know, if that could be a tough one. That could be a tough one to want to sit down here, depending on the result, to talk about. But we'll be back for that one. Let me know what you guys think about this game, though. What did you learn? What did you like? Who gets your game balls in this 25-20 victory? F Dallas. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, it's Boise 4 saying peace out. Love ya. Have a good one. Go Birds.